runs silent. Truth twists deeper.
She was fed questions by him.
Jeffrey's Puppet, in theaters now.
A member of Congress sits in an official hearing. She pulls out her phone and she texts Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted child sex trafficker, for advice on how to question the witness in front of her. Oh, the Washington Post actually reporting on this now. The text messages are real. She took direction from a pedophile during government business, 11 years after his first arrest for crimes. And when caught, she actually defended it. I'm speaking of Stacey Plaskett. Yes, she's still in Congress. She's still on the Intelligence Committee. You can believe that? Now, we're not talking about old connections or past mistakes. We're talking about active coordination between sitting members of Congress and a convicted sex trafficker. Stacey Plaskett was literally taking instructions from Jeffrey Epstein in real time while conducting official government business. This is all new. And think about the implications. How many decisions were influenced? How many questions were planted? How many investigations were corrupted? Only gets worse. Yes, she's still on the Intelligence Committee, and she has access to America's most classified secrets while texting with predators. Now, of course, Jeffrey is long gone unless he's on another island somewhere. But the Washington Post confirming the text influenced her questioning. Again, this is not speculation. It's documented fact. And when Republicans moved to censure her, you know what happened? Democrats circled the wagons. They protected her, which means they're complicit. Every Democrat who voted against censure just endorsed taking orders from Jeffrey Epstein. And speaking of corrupt systems, well, America fights back. We got this breaking news that the Trump administration just dropped a bombshell mining document. I'm talking about Executive Order 14241. They just named Alaska's Palmer Project as essential for national security. And guess what? Vizsla Copper owns it. We're talking $3.5 billion in copper, zinc, and silver that our military desperately needs. Now, this is the same team that built Vizsla Silver into a $1 billion valuation, and the Palmer acquisition just happened. Wall Street has not even caught up yet. When other Alaskan miners like Trilogy Metals got government backing, their shares exploded over 200%. Now, Vizsla trades as VCUFF in the U.S. and VCU.V in Canada. With explicit White House support for fast-tracking domestic production, this actually could be very monumental. So thanks to Vizsla Copper for sponsoring today's video. Get their presentation at the link below before the market wakes up. Now, the cover-up, my friends, is even more disgusting than the crime. When CNN confronted Plaskett, she actually said, "I believe Jeffrey had information, and I was going to get information to get to the truth." She's actually defending it. She's justifying taking advice from a child predator because she wanted dirt on Trump. Representative Grijalva refused to condemn her, saying he refuses judgment until he hears the full story. What full story? She was texting a pedophile during a congressional hearing. That is the story. Even CNN's Caitlin Collins grilled Hakeem Jeffries for 2 minutes straight about his party's Epstein connections, and he couldn't give a straight answer. Do you want to see it? Here's the breakdown. This actually shocked the hell out of me today. This is the post from the Washington Post. I couldn't believe this. Washington Post, Epstein's text messages may have influenced her, Stacey Plaskett. The newly released documents from, this is the freaking Post. The newly released documents from Jeffrey Epstein estate show he texts with a Democrat member of Congress during congressional hearing with Michael Cohen. They dug up the video of the moment it happened. We have the video now. Everything in Congress is recorded. Even when they're banging each other on the dais. Remember that one? That guy didn't get in any trouble either. Anyway, ugh, that was a horrible visual. Sorry. But So someone went back, Washington Post went back, they pulled the tape, and here it is.
Newly released texts appear to show that Jeffrey Epstein influenced a lawmaker's questions during the 2019 hearing with Michael Cohen, who was testifying against his former boss, Donald Trump. The texts between Epstein and Democratic delegate Stacey Plaskett, who represents the U.S. Virgin Islands, were sent in Pacific time. At 7:41 that morning, Epstein texted Plaskett, "Are you chewing?" 1 minute later, she responded, "Not anymore." Minutes before Plaskett was set to question Cohen, Epstein texted. Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets, misspelling her first name. Plaskett responded, "Rona?" and then asked, "Quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym?" Epstein replied, "That's his assistant." Minutes later, Plaskett asked Cohen about Trump's assistant.
Is Miss Rona, what is Miss Rona's position?
Rona Graff is the Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
Epstein texted again after Plaskett finished her questions. "Good work." After the Post published this report, Plaskett's office issued a statement that read in part, "During the hearing, Congresswoman Plaskett received texts from staff, constituents, and the public at large offering advice, support, and in some cases partisan vitriol, including from Epstein." Newly released texts appear to show that Jeffrey Epstein influenced a lawmaker.
The Washington Post, of all places, actually doing work. And yes, she's still on the Intelligence Committee. The Epstein texts. Here you are. There they are on screen for you. Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets. Rona? Quick, I'm up. Is that an acronym? That's his assistant. Rona. Good work. Yep. Colluding and coordinating. Oversight Committee dropping the bomb 11 hours ago. Day 5. Waiting for Representative Robert Garcia and Oversight Dems to condemn Stacey Plaskett for colluding with Epstein during a congressional hearing. Zero zip, zilch, nada. Of course, last night he voted no on censuring her. Does Robert Garcia stand by Plaskett's actions? And then they were quote tweeting themselves of only 24 hours ago. It's a good day for Democrats to condemn Stacey Plaskett, who was texting Jeffrey Epstein from a congressional hearing seeking advice on questioning a discredited witness.
Mr.
Obama was president of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this
Unreal.
committee even today in a written submission that contradicted.
It is unreal to see the text messages presented on screen at the very second that she is looking down and reading them in the middle of this hearing. This is mind-blowing.
Your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Did you review? Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record? Yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the president's campaign.
She texts,
or were
look at that. Look at that. Quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym?
involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman. Even in your words today, it was your idea for the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They
and
are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
Uh-huh.
The
You got to
Trump
quickly give us
organization.
as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is the Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be
Oh, wow. Busted. Here's Democrat Representative Grijalva refusing to condemn Stacey Plaskett's coordination with Epstein. Even CNN. This is crazy. Washington Post, CNN doing actual work?
important for us to just to note you did vote against this Republican attempt to censure Plaskett for her conversations with Epstein. But do you think there should be an ethics investigation that, you know, a member of Congress, I know she's a Democratic.
Oh, did you see her? Did you see her? She kind of sighed. She's like, yeah. She said ethics investigation, and she goes, You saw, yeah, they know that she's screwed, and they know that they're covering for it. Oh man, I would not want to be these people.
Colleague was texting with a sexual predator in 2019.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to understand what that whole transaction was. Having been able to see just what happened with my colleague and an attempt to censure him and Chuy Garcia, I know that most of the time when you hear one little snippet of what happened, it's not the full story. And so I reserve judgment until I hear the full story.
Just to know,
reserve judgment. Well, we have the full story. We have the full text exchange. We have that on video. So we have it all. Don't play games here. And who loves to play games but Timo Obama? Over at CNN again, Caitlin Collins putting Jeffries in the heat seat about Epstein for over 2 minutes straight on national television. Wow, Caitlin doing the work. Jeffries tries to dodge questions about his and his party's connections, but Collins came at him like a locomotive. Oh, boy.
Do you think it was appropriate for her to be texting with Jeffrey Epstein 11 years after he pleaded guilty?
I mean, I have not had a conversation with Stacey Plaskett to discuss this issue because we've been focused today on making...
Oh, I haven't had a chance to talk to her about it. That wasn't the question, dude. It wasn't the question. Do you think it was appropriate? That was the question.
Do you think it was appropriate for her to be texting with Jeffrey Epstein 11 years after he pleaded guilty?
I mean, I have not had a conversation with Stacey Plaskett to discuss this issue because we've been focused today on making sure that there was a decisive vote as it related to the Epstein files and the release. I'm thankful for the work of Representative Massey, of Rona, but most importantly, the survivors.
Do you plan to talk to her about it?
I think that we successfully defeated a resolution that lacked any basis, was not credible, and was being brought by an individual who was trying to weaponize this issue to reinvigorate his own failed gubernatorial campaign in South Carolina. It was rejected on a bipartisan basis on the floor today. That's the end of the story.
Okay, so she's got two questions up. He deflected on both.
Yeah, I was just asking if you personally believe messaging with Jeffrey Epstein, who is at that point a registered sex offender, is appropriate for a member of the House Democratic Caucus.
All right, there's question 3. Where are we going?
That's the third time you've asked me this question, and I'm going to give you the same exact answer. Our focus today is on making sure that the Jeffrey Epstein files were released. If you want to have a conversation with Stacey Plaskett about it, I'm sure she'd be willing to talk to you. It was an illegitimate effort to try to remove her from the House Committee on Intelligence, and that was defeated in a bipartisan way.
Well, let me ask you about you, because the White House has been highlighting an email that I'm sure you've seen today.
Now we're going to go to the email of you. Dime store, Obama.
That Jeffrey Epstein got in 2013. They say it shows you were soliciting money and dinner from an Epstein. The email was not sent from you. It was sent from a political consulting firm called Dynamic SRG that says, "We are thrilled to announce we are working with Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. Shoot us an email or give us a call if you would like to get involved." What's your response? Do you recall that email being sent to Jeffrey Epstein from that team?
Yeah, of course, I have no recollection of the email. I've never had a conversation with him, never met him, know nothing about him other than the extreme things that he's been convicted of doing. And that's why, I'm just strongly supportive of the effort, backing the survivors to make sure that everything can come out, whatever is in those Department of Justice files.
So you never got a donation from Jeffrey Epstein or anything like that?
Certainly not.
Do you think it was appropriate?
We're going to find out where that money went. Okay, so let's go to the horse's mouth. Caitlin Dorr says, what? Quote tweeting rapid response of the video of Plaskett on CNN. Uh-oh.
Move forward. If I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had...
So she's now officially responding.
I believe that Jeffrey Epstein had information, and I was going to get information to get at the truth. Having a friendship with him is not something that I would deem to have. And so I'm just looking forward. I'm moving forward. And I think that...
I'm just going to move forward. I'm just moving forward. I'm going to ignore that moment like it never happened.
That's what we as American people should do, is move forward. If individuals are not involved in illegal activity, extending his criminal enterprise or his financial enterprise or all of those things, I think that we need to look at what people are doing moving forward.
Wait, let me just better understand that. What is that point? Because at the time he was a known sex offender and it had been detailed all the sexual abuse.
There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes, and as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can. I believe that Jeffrey Epstein...
A lot of people do a lot of crimes. But how many of them have your phone number to text you during committee? Oh, the guy with the deep pockets? In the massage table? In the island? Sure. Oh, this is crazy. Uh-oh. Scott Jennings just turned his camera on. He's out of the CNN newsroom. He says Democrats want to be careful what they wish for regarding the release of the Epstein files. Uh-oh.
Congressional hearing. Democrats maybe want to be careful what they wish for here. First, things you should know. A member of the Democratic Conference named Stacey Plaskett, she's a member of the House, was found to have been texting with Epstein in 2019 about what to say in a congressional hearing. You heard that correctly. Literally, a Democrat member of the House, Plaskett, was taking orders from, being programmed by Jeffrey Epstein after he was a convicted sex trafficker. She's sitting in a hearing. She's texting him, what do I say now? He says, say this. And then she instantly says it. Jeffrey Epstein effectively owned and operated a member of the U.S. House of Representatives who is a Democrat. Another prominent Democrat named Larry Summers, you've heard of him. He's the former president of Harvard. He was the Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton, was found in documents to have been soliciting dating advice from Epstein. Summers wanted to get advice on how to approach much younger women. Summers, again, a Democrat, now says he's stepping away from his public commitments and apologizing for his actions. So let's do this. The debate is underway on the floor of the House. Let's first hear from House Speaker Mike Johnson, who's asking some good questions here.
The Biden Department of Justice had the files the entire time. And not a single one of the people who are so loud and animated right now, they never said anything about it for all those 4 years. None of them held press conferences. None of them demanded the release of the documents. And under Biden's DOJ, when they prosecuted just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, not a single one of these Democrats or any of the proponents of the discharge ever made any noise about that at all. So it's fair for the American people to ask the question, why now? Why suddenly are they so interested? They have such an urgent interest in the Jeffrey Epstein matter. The truth is simple and straightforward and obvious for anyone who is willing to look at it objectively. Clearly, this is a political exercise for Democrats and a few others, sadly, and it is as deceitful and dishonest as their pointless stunt to shut down the government.
Now, it is pretty clear, by the way.
Oh, it is pretty clear. We know the games. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Allison Steinberg is back. We asked a leader for AZ about reports Congressman Plaskett was texting Epstein during a hearing.
I haven't. It's just been revealed that Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett was actually texting with Jeffrey Epstein during a hearing. I know you're new here, welcome, but what is your response to that? And should Democrats move to censure her, seeing as she was texting with a convicted child sex offender?
I have no information about that. I can't verify that information, and so I'd rather not speak on it.
It's just been...
yeah, nice deflection here. Here's Representative Anna Paulina Luna, 22 hours ago. The Plaskett censure failed because House leadership exchanged that censure failure for the withdrawal of a vote to censure and refer Corey Mills to House Ethics. The swamp protects itself.
Gentlelady, for what purpose does the gentlelady from Florida seek recognition?
I have a parliamentary inquiry.
The gentlelady from Florida will state her inquiry.
I was wondering if the Speaker of the House of Representatives can explain why leadership on both sides, both Democrat and Republican, are cutting back-end deals to cover up public corruption in the House of Representatives from both Republican and Democrat members of Congress.
The gentlelady has not stated a proper parliamentary inquiry.
Thank you very much, but I think the American people know what happened tonight.
Oh, mic drop. Mic drop.
For what purpose does the gentlelady from Florida seek recognition?
Mic drop. You just saw the ultimate betrayal. Representative Anna Paulina Luna moved to censure Plaskett. The swamp made a deal. House leadership traded that censure failure for withdrawing another ethics investigation. They literally horse traded accountability for an accomplice to Jeffrey Epstein. Scott Jennings, you saw summing it up perfectly. Epstein was programming a congressional Democrat after he was a convicted trafficker. Programming, not advising, programming, like she was his puppet. And Congress just voted to let her keep her strings attached. See, this is your government, America. Democrats taking real-time instructions from Jeffrey Epstein during official hearings, using his coaching to attack their political enemies, and when they get caught red-handed, they protect each other like a mafia family. Stacey Plaskett should be expelled from Congress, not protected by it. And every Democrat who voted against her censure just told you that they're fine with people like Jeffrey Epstein running our government by proxy. They chose party over children and power over principles and Epstein over America. Tim Burchett, what did he say? He said, I am totally disgusted with this bunch of losers. Well, so am I, Congressman. So am I. Let's have a conversation. We're going to talk about this in the comments. Here's the question. Should Plaskett be immediately removed from the Intelligence Committee? Yes or no, or worse? Sound off below. And if you want to support real journalism that exposes this corruption, check out our merch shop. The link's in the description because somebody has to hold them accountable.